Let's go all music. Shareable link. Here we go. Dream. Shorter stream today, but we'll get at least one replay in. I turn on the YouTube chat. Okay. I need to join my own stream. Okay, good. Hey, Darren. Hey, Fluffy. I think I've actually had a few games end. I did. This is probably not surprising ones here. Yeah, hold on. Even after doing the attacks, still only 10 to 29 units. That's a very reasonable resign. Scroll down a bit. You see the whole map. There we go. So we'll quickly go through this replay. Just to do a little refresher. What happened in this game? No, that's right. I went for the airport quickly. My transport copter wasn't really punished at all. And then I got a lot of really good engagements over here. And the double comm tower proved very effective. I know, I got bodied by Bowser. I'll get my vengeance, you'll see. It was an off day for me. We left all our guns at home. We just had snowballs. No, that's pretty cool, Fluffy. Yeah, it's... Yeah, I think just the amount of pressure I was able to exert down here and having the double comm tower just in time for all the big fights was pretty good. And he kind of overextended on this left side here, which cost him all of his defenders of the anti-air. Which means in 2 turns I can... or 3 turns? 4 turns. I kind of leave those anti-air alone for a while, but then I kill him. And now he's in a huge amount of trouble. There's all of these copters in the middle, and there's nothing to answer them. And even though we just stay even on the income, the unit count, it's outrageous. 13 to 32. 10 to 33. His last turn, he uses a super. Kills that copter. Oh, it hurts when you have to use a Neo tank to kill a 1 health tank. Of course, I guess I am Sonya, so there's actually just a question mark health tank. Whoa! A 3 health anti-air. That's Kindle super for you. 1 shots. I am in the trailer. It's true. Okay, that didn't do no damage. That's just because it's on his turn. How much did it hit me for? 4. Okay. That's just classic unit count being outrageously strong. And the other game that my opponent resigned in is this one. The Cole versus Kindle. Yeah, this is looking pretty resignable. I have double his unit count and almost triple his unit value. I think It's pretty resignable. If I take these 3 cities, I think I win the game. Damage calc that? Sure. We got Kindle. I don't remember how many cities he had. On a city. 3 health. I think he had 2 comp towers at that point. Super. Wow, that actually gets like almost without having any cities. 10 cities. There you go. That's impressive. Very impressive. Okay. I went for early recon aggression in this game, right? I was like, I will be aggressive. And 42. 2 of my games finished. This being one of them. Yeah, this is the early recon aggression. I was like, I'll hit him up here, and I'll hit him down here. He goes, or they go for a tank opening. As expected, the tank's down here. No, I think I expected it here. Because then you want infantry from here, because it's closer to the cities. I did win that game yesterday. He just tank chains. They just tank chain over here. That's interesting. Really didn't expect anything to hit him. Hit them up here. So this recon's probably a huge surprise when it hits him from the harbor. Yep, just tank chain right over here. Gets spotted by the recon. I think I bait him. Not this turn, next turn. Very valuable hit over here. Also gives me a lot of information about what he's doing. He like walks past this property, trying to get this property. Of course, going straight for the middle properties is much more dangerous in fog because you can just kind of show up with an army and take them. Have a good one, Advanced Warrior. Yeah, okay, so he's like, I keep saying he. They're going for a lot of these delayed simultaneous captures. Which is fine as long as I don't pressure them. Because we can see that the income disparity, like I'm starting my turn. Am I really starting my turn 3k up? No, it's probably just a replay thing. I was like, that'd be outrageous. Okay, I start my turn 1k up. That's still really good for me. And this is where I do the bait. I clear off his capping infantry from this city. And then I bait his tanks to hit this recon while I have a copter lying in wait. So in he goes. This also helps protect my infantry because he's not going to be scouting down here if he's attacking the recon. It's very interesting that he wrapped around like that. Because I would not do that if I was going after the recon, because that just puts him closer to my production, making it easier for me to say him again, making it easier for me to strike the tanks. And I think I mess up the attack here on these tanks. I mean, I said I successfully attacked them. But what I should have done is attacked from this side so that I could bring this infantry down and this infantry in this forest and trap his tank. Now I can't... I guess I could still trap his tank. I just needed to attack not from the mountain then. I think this was... Yeah, I just needed to not attack from the mountain is what I needed to do. I should have gone forest and road to keep the tank trapped here. So I guess the copter's fine attacking from over here. In fact, it's probably better because now it has more reach into the middle. Take out the infantry, start that cap. It's a lot of pressure. Kind of have to respond to this since you sacrifice a good chunk of your early capture game going for the contested middle city. But of course, that's good for me because I had more properties earlier, so I'm able to get more vehicles earlier, so I get a stronger army faster, which allows me to take the property. Which is why you don't go for those. Yeah, but because I didn't trap his tank, or trap their tank in there, it gets away. It actually gets a valuable block off. They have to respond to the pressure on this city, which is unfortunate for them because they have to sit on the shoals to do that with that tank. Which I get a nice hit off with the battlecopter. At this time, I believe I thought that I had an anti-air here, which is why I didn't go after this tank. And I also didn't strike from here. Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 would get me. And then I was concerned about the power hitting me, so I didn't want to strike their tank from the city. But I kind of regret that. I think I should have just sucked it up so I wouldn't have a tank sitting on the shoals. And then I tried to interrupt this cap. I get trapped on this 1 health tank. Very value. And then I predicted that they would build a copter at this point. But I don't think they built a copter the whole game. All hail, King of the Penguins. I have infantry brawling with me over here. I also don't agree with stepping off of this capture. I feel like it's very much to Kindle's benefit to fight on properties. And if I try and take out the infantry that's on the property, there's still these 2 to fight me off. Is it not popping up on stream? Okay, there we go. Now it should. Sorry about that. Yeah, see, that's the problem with going for that shoal play. Is it allowed that 2-hit, where on the city I would have been okay, or I would have at least have forced the power to be popped to get the kill. There you go. But these copters get a lot of value in this game. Hey, we got the movement. And I messed up this turn as well, I think. With like not getting the kill on this tank like I should have. Just because of how I was positioning everything. Yeah. This tank could not reach to this side. Very embarrassing. And we all know that this recon is a hero recon that will find its home in this forest. Go ahead, Boomman. And this little, like, moving the recon and the tank over kind of disrupts their entire plan on this side, because all of their vehicles are coming from the bottom up towards the middle to defend this property, and then they were just sending like recons and infantry up here to win this fight. So as soon as a single tank shows up, the entire front collapses for them. Where you can see that on all of my fronts, I have vehicles that are in a position where they can go into the middle if they need to, but they can also defend the fronts. Because if you lose, or the sides, because if you lose the sides, you'll lose the game. The middle fight is more of just a cost sink that both players try and make the other one overcommit to. Or if you undercommit too much, then you just lose the middle and feel sad. So it's important when you're playing Fog to not have everything kind of channeled like this straight into the middle. You have to have some play on the sides. And you can still like be focused on the middle, just make sure your reinforcement path to the middle is such that you can choose to do it to the side if you need to. It's a very awkward turn. I think what happened was this tank killed the unit that was blocking it in, but then because the tank's still here, it's body blocking for my copter, which is known to happen. So at this point, I am actually down 1k, although not for long, as I'm threatening to take more cities and win entire fronts. And while this anti-air I got will never see a copter because my opponent never built one, it does get to see just tons of juicy infantry. And as we saw in yesterday's stream, anti-air are also anti-infantry units, although not nearly as much so as in the Commander Wars, which I did hear they have released a mod that will make the damage matrix more like Advanced Wars by Web. Oops. So you won't have the recons one-shotting, capping infantry and all that stuff. Copter lives. I was very surprised this turn that my opponent did not try and interrupt this at all. Just download my replays. So now they're moving towards the side because they saw I have a copter flagging over here. So they bring in anti-air over here also to stop me from taking this property. But if I remember at the time, I was like, well, I'm going to get the anti-air to come over here and attack me from the road, so my tank can hit it real well. And that's why like these infantry are placed how they are. Yeah. And then this anti-air has no threats, and that I know it's very safe. I have this recon, I have this tank over here. Why did they not break the infantry under the copter and hit it with the full HPAA? You're talking about this turn? No, not this turn. This turn. Why didn't they kill this guy? I mean, they definitely should have. I think they found different targets. Oh, that. I think first what they try and do is free their tank. Right? Yeah. They're like, oh, I'll just free my tank. But then they realized, oh no, I don't actually have enough stuff. around to free my tank. But they should have just killed this guy instead, yeah. There's the... So, like, multiple times during the... Pretty much, as the game goes on, like, every turn, I'm looking for baits and just ways to get their units on roads for me to hit. Anything that can get them out of position in any way. You can just do that, like, every turn. And kind of force them to make tactical blunders. Arguably, down here, I should have hit with the 8 health first, and then the 10 health, so that I'd still have a 10 health infantry instead of a 9 health. Just because it captures properties faster. You can see I'm not like throwing this tank in, even though I see that my opponent has tanks in the middle. I see like 3 targets over here. So I'll just take those while I muster up my forces, and then I can kind of send everything at once. There's no rush to try and dominate the middle, especially because I have both the properties right now. And the recon found its home. I believe this is completely out of his vision when it does this. Yeah, this is like that. Out of their vision. And the recon will never leave that forest. That's a great forest to be in, because you never really want to go through that forest or really ever hide in that forest because it's so close to your HQ. So yeah, I get to see 2 tanks get deployed. I get to respond to that. And you can see, even though I didn't like send this tank down into the middle, I don't even take that much damage for being a tank down, because my opponent saw that I have these tanks waiting in the wings. Oh, strapped. And again, playing on the sides, win the sides, and then I can get back to fighting in the middle, and then I can afford the big expensive brawl much better than my opponent can when I'm up so many properties. And very patient. No reason to like go onto the city. No reason to go more forward, as long as these tanks can all cover what they need to cover. Injure tank, especially against Kindle. Do not put your 2 health tank onto a city when they have their power, because what will happen is they'll just hit their power. It'll go down to 1% health, and they'll kill it with just an infantry. Or you'll like sit it and repair it, and then keep it on a city to repair more, and then the next turn they knock it back down to 1 from 4. So while they have their power active, just use it as a really annoying blocker. A 2 health tank is pretty difficult to clear with like an infantry or a recon. It would take a high roll, so they might have to invest a full health tank to break this. And that would be an amazing trade for me. It's also blocking one of the spots next to the infantry in the forest, which makes this pretty much impossible to break as well. Because they have to spend 1 slot just revealing it, and then they'd have to one-shot this infantry. There we go. It took a full health tank shot to clear that 2 HP tank, while then placing these 2 tanks in danger. It's just something you want to do with your weakened units. They're still very useful. And we'll see the punish from the power, letting my and you just kind of swoop in here. And I messed this up. This attack, at least. When I get this hit and I knock him down to 1, I should definitely move this infantry onto this mountain and just try and kill this tank, which it probably will. And that will give me the full health tank and a 5 health tank to probably kill this tank. But instead I used a 5 health tank to kill a 1 health tank, not worth it. Especially because then this infantry hits this 4 health tank, which, yeah, not nearly as good. I think the game's almost over at this point, but you can see I still don't abandon the sides. Even though I'm winning the sides, keeping stuff around. In fact, I can just defend it complete with 1 anti-air because I have the recon in the forest and it sees everything that's heading this way. But yeah, this is the last turn that I think, the high society. Or not quite, but close. This city is costing my opponent a lot because they have to keep investing anti-airs to try and save it. You can also see how weak Kindle Super is there when you just don't have that many cities and you're not attacking from cities. It's true, I should not have hit the 1 health tank with a 5 health tank. I made the exact same mistake. Not as extreme, but it was a mistake. I think I recognized it in the moment too. I think they just kind of accidentally blundered into this forest here. I don't know if I guess they really can't dive onto this artillery. They'd only be able to hit it with 1 tank, and it's on a missile platform. Yeah. That's just kind of unfortunate for them. And then, yeah, this side's 1, so all these properties are going to flip to me. They're trying to win the side now. But I have stuff in place to contest it. Which I do. And then I send lots more. I don't send units into this middle fight. I don't really care about this middle fight. This fight up here is, of course, defending 5 properties. I care about that a lot. The middle fight's all basically a distraction. The plan is to win on the sides. And then they resign. So there you go. Pretty standard fog game, I'd say, for recon aggression. And responding and letting that, having that spot the aggressive contested property captures. Oh, we actually have 3 games to choose the CO for. Tier 3 on Stalingrad? It has us selected as Andy. I mean, I like Andy. What do other people like? I'm trying to think. I think I'm playing all of these guys, right? Andy seems to... Ah. What do you mean 50%? There was no luck involved. It was awesome. Rachel? I can Rachel. Andy's too good. Guys. Okay. I can Rachel. can Rachel with the best of them. Oh, I'd love to choose Sturm, but I don't think he's allowed in tier 3 for good reason. Although Andy's okay against him. Andy is pretty strong. All right, I'll Rachel it up. And then we have tier 3 high funds on Hidden City. This map, okay. What are you guys thinking? Jugger? Jugger's not allowed. Sorry. I would if I could. They have me selected as Slash, but I don't know. Could Andy here? I don't think I have an Andy game, do I? I don't have an Andy game. I'm already ready. Oh, was I? Oh, you're right. Never mind. Ah, it was a Lash game then. So this is the one I need. I have 2 great games. That's a high funds tier 3. Okay, we have It That Betrays that I'm not ready in. For Global League Standard tier 2. It That Betrays. They have me down as Sammy. Max. I'm done with Max. Bam. Oh, and we have Michigan Maneuver as well. All right, they have me down as Eagle for Michigan Maneuver. Tier 2 again. I'm sure. I don't really like Andy into tier 2, but I could get lucky and not run into Max. I'll do it. Max is brutal though. Okay, we got lots of turns to take here. We have Max versus Eagle. Easy turn though. My opponent's a copycat. Look at this. Find your own build, man. Ooh, we just go for this? I think we do. And they got a tank. So I want to place my recon in a spot where the tank can't reach, like here, or here. We'll go here. I don't think going here reaches anything more. Go here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I guess here forces something out of this base, or the tank to just like really dive over here. So let's do that. Then we get another recon. And then it looks like capturing this way is much less risky. So I guess we'll do that. Aha. And then down here, go for this property while moving you down. I want to get hit by this tank. Do we build a tank of our own, though? And do I just get an artillery? Or do the really gutsy thing and just build an infantry? I kind of like artillery up here. And sure, I'll grab an artillery over here. Infantry count's decent. The artillery's got some good spots it can go sit. Well, I can then build a tank to help cover from the recon. Infantry only? What? Okay, this is this map. Everyone's favorite. They're going for the comm tower now. I think I can... Can you get away with delaying the comm tower a turn? I think so, right? Let's try. And we'll go for the island. Which can be really, really boring. And infantry only that turn. No recons. Oh, this game. Ah, yes. This is the turn where this is the game where I interrupted his cap to let my tank get hit. I think I'll take that capture. I'll definitely take this capture. Moving for that capture. Now I was deciding if I want to do anything about this. I think I take this guy out. Yeah. Probably go back and repair this tank. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's fine. Also, strike that infantry. I do have a copter covering their tank now. So I think I just let the first strike happen to be fine with it. We fall back further. Bring the copters up. We'll think about the tank, what we want to do with the tank after we move these guys around. We just go here, because that opens up an attack from this side. And this opens up an attack from this side in case this infantry gets ideas of capturing. think we still try and go for this. Do we engage this? Or do we back up and try and delay the captures on it? I think we're going to get an anti-air, maybe. I have so much more money. I have to keep pumping copters. And I think I'll join my infantry back here. So I can go tank infantry. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And all that could hit me is a 7 health? Yeah. Well, I do lose a whole infantry on this side. Kind of sucks. Actually, I could just get an artillery. Could be good. Maybe a recon? Yeah, we'll just... Maybe I'll just base skip for a tank. I don't know. Kind of want one more tank. I guess an infantry being built from this base doesn't super matter. Okay, well, we'll base skip for a tank. This can go here and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we'll have our copters. Kind of work together here. We'll fall back. I don't really want to give this tank a shot at me. So maybe I just stay where I am. I can still hit here, I can still hit here, I can still cover this guy. Yeah, it's fine. Let's restock this soldier. We'll end the turn there. Whoa. Those are some early mechs. Ah. Some very early mechs. Well, I guess the thing to do is you normally ignore them. And just get some more infantry, which is definitely the smart thing to do. I kind of want a double recon in response, just to make it a super fun game. Let's do it. Let's have some fun. My opponent has now built a transport copter. It's good for them. goes there. There's so many things to have to try and capture here. You boost to here and get to this city right away? That doesn't seem quite worth it. You don't have a really good boost. You boost to there and then you go there. Usually the transport copter matters more on the 2-base side. There are these over here. Actually oh no, because there's going to be, I can build a boat to head down here. I guess I'll send it this way and just ignore it. Yeah. Boosting to this is not worth it. Like you go down here after that, but there's a base right here to chain into it, so we'll just take this. Bunches of infantry. And lots of transport copters. Oh, this is one of the games where I was like, I will put off my decision for a turn. Looks like my opponent's doing the same thing. Guess we'll go transport copter. Have a good one, Fluffy. That's right. I was like, it's so awkward. Go for that one early. Go here and you like wrap around to here and then to here. And you kind of just wrap there. I think do this. And then if they're going down here, we want recon infantry, and then you can go here and here. Very awkward. I should really try and map out a capture route for that map. Yeah, you usually get the comm tower right before the fighting starts, if it's a safe comm tower. If it's a contested comm tower, like these ones, it's not bad to rush them. But usually you delay it till right before the engagement starts, so that you get more money. Because comm towers, of course, don't give you actual cash. I got a message. Is it a courtesy on the site to let your opponent draw if they mess up turn 1? That's totally your call. I don't think there is anything established like that. Not unreasonable, though. Sturm recons, though. They're just so fun. There's nothing protecting that, right? Yeah, this is way far away. Get off my city. Can you reach there? I've messed up turn 1 too. And sometimes you just gotta suck it up and be like, it's a learning experience. Oh, can that reach me? Okay. I can attack from up there. Okay. Let's actually retreat with this recon. You go for this capture. You go down to here. You hit you there. You don't go down to there. Let's try and not get my infantry hit for free. You've done a great job. Keep up the work. Aw, didn't get the roll. Let's keep building. Let's do a little wave of tanks. Maybe just one tank. No, we'll get 2 tanks. And an infantry. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Get off my city. Sit here. I'm expecting to see a bunch of infantry spawn. This is going to be the most forward infantry. Luckily, I have denied these more forward cities, so it's not going to be that scary for me. Oh, this game. That's right. I was expecting to see some like recons. So far, nothing. Very weird. Could actually do this. That doesn't quite work out. I think we definitely go for this though. Shouldn't have done that. I should have just stayed back. Now if my opponent has a recon, this is just an amazing swing for them. I think you go. I'm definitely getting artillery here. Yeah, I think the tank needs to cover this side cap. You're just moving over here gradually so you can pick up stuff from these bases. 5, 6. Okay, so we can. Oop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it's not good enough. So he has to be here. Pop you down that city. No recon. Just kind of cannibalize this capture. I don't actually see another capture to go for, so I will. And this guy's will just be used to help over there. And then artillery, tree. I want to go for that capture, but at the same time, I know it's like it's gonna cost me. Definitely don't attack him. Over here. I think I wait a turn here. He doesn't see the property yet, but there's no if Max hasn't built recons yet. Max has definitely built tanks. Well, I can check Max's rating here. 893, definitely tanks. It's a little cheeky to just kind of stand out in the open, but I do want to just have vision of the city. You got this, man. Oh. I think this is like really good news for me that my opponent has gone with their own APC, because they can't do that. They are not Sammy. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, it's not building an artillery. Let's double infantry for now. They can't do that because they don't have transports with 7 movement. They just have transports with 6 movement. They also built from a different side. They can drop to like here, but that's not in range of these. Or of capturing them. I guess you could try and contest them. They can still unload on the mountain by the shoal. This one? For this city? I mean, that's fine. Okay. Infantry. Over here. Down here. Back here. Lots of infantry. Enemies within. I'm not taking any challenge turns. I've just had challenges. I'm just taking my turns and then I'll cover like one replay and I have to do homework. So it's a shorter stream today. Go here. This guy goes there. I don't see a real reason to go forward yet. Unless I wanted to get this faster. I think you just go over here. I'm also not seeing a good reason for a recon. I have 25 games. $25 is the max for one account. I guess technically I have 26 because I have one on my main. I'm gonna go here. Boost. So that's a good boost. After this guy captures this, there's a boost to get put here to get this capture. I think I will go for this chain first. It might be the wrong play because a presence going off this way might be more important. But we'll find out. Expect to see many, many, many transport copters. Okay. This forces my opponent to build a tank. Now the airport turn. I'm not seeing very many other captures to go for. Wow, that's a fast comm tower. Could go for that one, I guess. The harbor. I don't think I'll be building. Well, I am Sammy. I'm not sure. We'll go for the airport now. You like playing live matches more? That's understandable. I'm definitely not part of that liking those more. Could be a fake comm tower cap. That's true. I personally like the experience of climbing the ladder in, or at least the initial experience of climbing the ladder in Advanced Wars by Web. You get a nice mixture of long games, of almost live games. You get to really like see your improvement in your play. People tend to be really nice. It's good. We'll go straight for the comm tower. Okay. Well, I'm definitely not getting the... Do I like stopping noobs? No. I would not say that playing this account is nearly as fun as the initial climb through League. That was a lot of fun. Would recommend. 10 out of 10. True. I've heard that can be pretty fun to have those more uneven matchups. Oh my gosh. It's another one of these openers. It's like extra fast because it's Sammy. Well, then we're gonna need a lot of money. I think this is fine right here. There's like food going back. Yeah, that's fine here. Viewers team game. I'm up here again. We'll try a different non-transport opening for this map, or that game. I already took this turn. Already took this one. Already took this one. Okay, I've taken all of the turns. I'll now switch over to replays. Mods versus chat. You might do that in the future. I could see that being fun. Yeah, that frog, it's totally fine to just not play live. I often purposely do not play live against people that are a lot stronger at live than I am. Let chat say the moves. That will take forever. That's like, I could see doing that in chess, but as soon as I've got like 20 plus units, how on earth am I going to keep up with that? All right, I got $20 turns. That seems good. Oh, look at this. That frog is already Cobalt Ice. Let's go to game. Twitch plays Advanced World Wide Web. I mean, I could maybe do that if I'd have to make sure it's not cheating. So I'd have to ask the admins. But maybe I could have a game like that where chat would have to collaborate and send me a list of moves all at once, and then we could take a turn per stream. Andy is airport. This is Hawk versus Sturm. I think on this map, Hawk probably has the advantage. Sturm can do some gnarly recon stuff, but the capture route advantage is not that great. Skipping these mountains a single tile. I think it lets you get this city a little bit, a turn earlier, but it's like not that much faster, so it's not going to matter that much. Anyway, in the bottom left, playing as Hawk and Cobalt Ice, we have that frog. And then the top right, we playing as Gray Sky and Sturm. We have Andy is airport. That frog, what rating is this match? As we start it up. And Sturm also has a problem in that this artillery takes an extra turn to kill the pipe scene. So while you get this city faster from just getting over the mountains, you're delayed in up here. In these ports, just battleship. They oftentimes, well, like this port, you can build a battleship to cover your HQ. You could build a carrier if they really overextended with air. And close to 1K, that's great. Sometimes map player or map designers put harbors on there just for aesthetics. Sometimes they put them on there because they want that to be a property that you can't repair at. And sometimes it's so that you can build battleships in defensive and or aggressive ways. This is looking pretty good. This is good for Sturm. Always. I mean, you can do the APC opener first, I guess, and then go into recons, but you pretty much always want to go recons if you are playing Sturm in the early game. Oh, I would have... Let's go back for that frog. What's going on with this initial capture here? This guy going up here is good. I would go onto the mountain first. Probably this one. Because these center caps are very important and very contested. Unless you've got some wild transport copter opener, in which case definitely send this guy down. Because these guys both reach this base in the same number of turns. But this guy would have been here and would get the airport a turn sooner. What happened to the Guess the Rating series? I don't know. That was on DPSI's channel. I could try doing it if you guys want in the future with some of these replays. So this is just how are you capturing this? Oh, I see. Oh, I see. This guy's going for this property, not going for the base. So this one did go for the base, and this one for this city. I would not do this because, I mean, it looks fancy. I'll give you that. I wouldn't do this because the middle is more important than over here. And I can see it costing you maybe one of these middle cities. You're like, as you can see, you're very far behind in the middle city game. I've never actually seen this, so I am intrigued. Oh, interesting. I'm not sure where you're going with this guy. Is it for this city? I thought you're gonna like dive up into the middle. Now this is a really fast artillery. So this is if you're playing Sturm, more recons. Here, Rishi. More recons. Not just one. Not just one. You need like 4 at this point. Well, probably 3. I guess 2. You can't really afford 3. I must have had the turns wrong. I thought Sturm would have enough money. Never mind. Never mind. More recons next turn. But this is a very fast artillery. And something I, of course, learned recently in my own game that somehow I never saw is that you can actually just go over onto this shoal, so you're more forward with your artillery, and you can shell the seam from there. In this handy shoal. So this is dangerous to do because if your opponent's paying attention, if your opponent's paying attention, they're going to know that you built an artillery first and that you have absolutely no defenses anywhere. This recon being this far forward is fine because of how early in the game it is. The opponent couldn't actually have a tank yet. So this is a recon. A Sturm recon should always be moving the full 8, like charging the capture lines. Later in the game, when there's more units out and about, then you want to be more protective of your recons. But at this point, you can kind of just do whatever you want with them. I would not do that though. No reason to be tentative with this recon. You can dive. I probably would have actually placed myself in a way, like up a bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Honestly, this should have been way further forward. It could have gone 1, 2, 3, or was it built from here? It was built from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, well, you just needed to go like over to this forest so you can sit on this city, for instance. Because even if you don't hit stuff with your recon, just sitting on cities and denying the infantry from capping them will delay. And then, of course, in this case, it would have been really annoying because the infantry would have walked up, standing on a road, and there would have been a recon sitting on the city waiting to hit it. Yeah, I think if you're going to go fast into the corner, the APC opener is probably better. But I don't know if your opponent... It looks like your opponent has not reacted to you going for the pipe seam. We'll see if they build... Okay, yeah. If I saw someone going for that pipe seam, for one, I'd be just slamming into you with this recon. I'd also probably triple recon, because it's just such a slow opener. Did you shoot it once and then leave? You're gonna break it with the tank and the copter? That's tricky. I'll give that to you. That's very tricky. I would not expect the artillery to be covering anything at this point. I would think it would be... I mean, I guess I'd be really suspect when this didn't take another artillery shot, but... Ooh, you were almost like in a great position to punish this. That would have been amazing. But this does kind of... Let's go back to how this infantry movement happened. I think I mentioned this in one of the games I was playing where I shouldn't have moved my infantry next to the city. And you kind of do it here a lot. This guy, if he's going for this property, go down. You want your opponent to be able to hit you from the least viable or least defensive terrain. So you don't want to have your infantry just sitting next to a city where they can strike you from it, like in these cases too. You'd rather have them maybe from this forest or from this road. Because like, if you're down here, they strike you from the forest. Like, that sucks, but at least you can still go for your comm tower and then cover it with your artillery. I mean, I've played many games on this map, and I've never moved my... Like, I hadn't moved to the shoal to the Sammy game. I don't know why I hadn't seen that before. I'm sure my opponents had done it, and I just, like, didn't notice it. True. You break them out. Did you calc that? Oh, true. Did you calc that your artillery shot and double tank battlecopter would free the artillery? That's impressive. You looked it up? Yeah, that's good. Wow, recons that don't one-shot infantry. that was quite the experience. If Sturm recons one-shot infantry, well, you're really artillery heavy. Usually against Sturm, you don't want to build a lot of artillery, at least not early on, because Sturm usually gets a bunch of recons. And if there's one thing that if there's a vehicle that recons can actually fight, it is artillery. So you usually want to get tanks. One, because it answers the recons, and two, your Hawk tanks will be better in general brawls on regular terrain than Sturm tanks. Just kind of why Sturm can often go into an army composition that's like recon artillery with just a few tanks. Oh, the surround! I do not like the positioning of this artillery. I would much rather if it was on either in this forest or on this missile platform, because I'd be very concerned about some sort of breakthrough happening and then my artillery sitting on the road. It's okay to love artillery and have an artillery focused play style. I'm totally okay with that, and I think that's great. I would just modify it specifically when I'm going up against Sturm. Just because Sturm goes so recon heavy. And the recons both scout your artillery, and they hit the artillery for like 40 to 50 damage, and they get to do that with 8 move, and you can just see how far they can reach. So it can be really bad. Like if Sturm had been pumping out recons instead of these other vehicles, everything in your top here would be getting swarmed and taken out. There's nothing to answer it. The recons would come in, they'd like sit on the harbor, hit this, and then they'd come over, hit this guy, hit this guy. Probably even just, since it'd be injured, to just hit these two. And they wouldn't have any fear because once the first one came in and hit from the harbor, it would like have vision of everything. The recon didn't move? Did not even attack? Wait, what happened here? Oh no! Did he free his recon and then forget to move it? Didn't move this infantry either. That's very odd. Great for you though. Pow. Yeah, you can see how good Sturm tanks are, like on cities. So I wouldn't even bother going for this first strike against the Sturm tank. You can just, as soon as the Sturm tank isn't on that city, it's not going to be nearly as effective defensively. So you can just like do something else with your tank and be like, yeah, come off of the city and hit me on the plains. You can see how good defense is. Whoa. I guess you're somewhat covering this because you've got 2 tanks here, or 2 artillery, so they're protecting each other. I would have expected this infantry to go down here or here. Where was it? Or to go here. They'll block. But this is fine if you've got the 2 artillery. Truant recon. So things are looking pretty grim on the capture front. Ooh. Luckily, this works out very well for you. I don't think you see the battlecopter, which kind of is unfortunate. And you are going to get that city. You can see how the delay to your expansion to the middle is costing you. There's lots of stuff to contest both this city, which is usually pretty much uncontested, and this middle city. How did you see that? Or did you? You must have like moved your artillery and it got trapped. Or maybe this infantry got trapped. Hey, that's a great spot for an artillery. I think I should be that trap. I don't know. I'm not sure how it decides whether or not it's going to show the trap or have the trap bug. There isn't an infantry here. I'm assuming I got trapped on this infantry. I do like how you're starting to put these artillery in like nice spots with forests overlooking either cities or like very contested areas. It's good. Some nice walling up here. I think it'll probably break, but it's still a good thing to do. So you're down 3k on the turn end, which is definitely rough, but you've been having much better engagements so far, so it's okay. Although this sucks, not having an answer to the copter quite yet, but you're just a turn out, so copters do not hide in forests. Yeah, an AA would have been good. You can see you getting first struck on the plains is almost the exact same trade as you first striking them on a city. But now they're much easier to kill. Like so. I'm liking this engagement so far. This is really good. I like the pressure down here. You see there's a huge fighting force that's just like, it must be out of position to protect down here. So like, what can possibly be here? I would put the artillery in the woods though, instead of the tank. I'd also put this guy probably back on this city. Or on this city. Nice shadow. Ooh, a mech. Okay, they're gonna fight you in the middle. Ooh. Well, they should be very careful with fighting you in the middle, since they're also moving their vehicles from the middle down here. Because it's not usually wise to go into the fight and then move your strong units away from it. And they're floating a bunch of money. Well, in the future, I'm assuming. Well, I don't know. I guess it depends. If you're going to use the battlecopter on this tank, you should do the battlecopter first, of course. I think you might just do tank, yeah. You're just trying to hide the battlecopter because it's the anti-battlecopter. That's good. Yeah, 2 medium tanks. If I was Sturm, I would not be getting medium tanks against you because I see that you have like a bajillion artillery. Oh, I like the transport copter. The only thing I don't like about this is that the mech is like moving towards the airport. It needs to be moving to a meetup point with the transport copter, and this isn't going to be quite a meetup point because it can't reach to hop in. But I guess you can always do a little meetup over here, like right here. I would have thought you'd meet up in the center, but if you want to go to the right, then that's fine. Meteor strike, thunk. Don't know why Sturm did meteor strike there. I guess they do get a few attacks out of it, but mostly against infantry. Usually, if you're going to use the Sturm power, you do it for the stats, and the meteor is just kind of a bonus. And there's no reason to use the normal power right away, because you still have a lot of charge to stockpile in the super part. All right, going in for the swing there. Pow! You hit the battlecopter. Yep. This is looking pretty good. The vehicle's attacking infantry. It's always risky to do. I'm guessing this tank got trapped on that. Hey, did the meetup point. Nice. Yeah, the early meatball does so little. The stat bonus is huge, of course, for Sturm. I'm seeing a lot of your units get trapped. I'm not even sure what this infantry got trapped on. Were you going to try and capture their city here? Yeah, maybe a little more chill. I think you probably just need to get some recons at this point, so you're not quite wandering into the darkness so much. That was quite the roll. Does he not attack this infantry? Well, he's kind of grouping up. It's a little bit... He's kind of weak as he's Sturm. It is a little bit dangerous to do this kind of thing as Sturm against Hawk. I guess I'm fine with this. Usually you don't really bother with starting captures with low health infantry because it would take them forever. Instead, you go and repair them so they can capture it faster and be a higher health. But it is kind of important that you actually cover the city. All right, let's see this transport mech. See what it can do. This is a nice strike up here. The mech is here. It's actually pretty good because it then hops into the forest. You're going to have a very strong super. Although I think you're going to lose a few damaged units, maybe? Maybe not. I think... Well, you have an okay infantry count. But with how they're kind of being like trapped and put in precarious positions, you're going to eventually run out of infantry, and then you'll... Well, once you run out of infantry, you can't win. You kind of need them to capture stuff, actually exert pressure. Yeah, I'm okay with copters being very cautious in their movements because anti-air are very scary. I'm okay with that. For an attack like this, definitely use your power, your super first. So you're at 10 and he's at 8, and you just like get closer to one-shotting him. Top Artie is getting value. True. He is in a lot of trouble right now. I like this. He's been caught. The only thing you've got to... Okay. Don't do this. You saw that he like moved in with a bunch of stuff and killed all your infantry over here. So keep these infantry back a bit. You don't want to move them forward onto the plains when your units are like up here. Yeah. This is a very dangerous thing to do when you see him moving forward and like that. You do have your power up, but still. I'm not sure. He's actually ran out of recons. So it's possible that he wouldn't get you, but looks like he's seeing it. It's not nearly as bad as it could have been. Most of your infantry are still untouched, so they can kind of withdraw and help contest any HQ cap that comes your way, and buy you time for your vehicles to reposition. You can see the difference in having infantry alive on the front lines and not, where even though you've got multiple vehicles around his HQ, he doesn't have to react to you because there's no infantry in range to actually start the capture and end the game. Where down here, you have to react. There's multiple infantry on the way, like with the attacking force. I'm not sure. It might be that he's not watching, or they're not watching the replay. They definitely should have known that there was an anti-air there. It's good that you're targeting the infantry, pulling back a bit. The infantry are the threat, and then you can use your own infantry as bait for your stronger units to get hits on his vehicles, or on their vehicles if their vehicles go in for them. Yeah, that's definitely a big push. It looks like you made a magnet sort of over here. Maybe over here. I'm not sure if you made a magnet. Well, since the power's up, I would definitely think about getting start making some magnets, usually with my purchases. And yeah, I mean, this is looking very scary, but you did hurt and weaken, kill and or weaken all of the infantry. So the capture isn't as scary as it can be. The easiest thing to do, especially on a map like this, and you're like, I don't want to have to bother with trying to figure out my magnet builds every time, is you just build a battleship. Just save up for a turn, build a battleship, and that will be a magnet. There isn't an amount of money that's too much of a disadvantage to recover from. There's 5 factors to consider as to whether or not there's like 5 factors that are balanced in the game that you need at least one of them that you're advantaged in to come back into a game. So you've got unit count, you've got unit value, you've got income, you have your power charge, and then you have positioning. And in positioning, I'm also including composition. So like this is a strong position for Sturm. But Sturm's behind in unit value, but that's okay because it's being made up by how threatening this position is. And Sturm has the power advantage. The income's even, so I would say this is still relatively an even game. the positioning is the easiest thing to lose, but it's also the easiest way to have very sudden swings. And unit count is the hardest thing to come back in. And usually unit value and power charge are in like perfect balance with them, because you gain more charge the more damage you take. Ah! Get the bot! Gone, bot! Your 42's here, otherwise I'll go for it. Ah! Bot be gone. Nicely done. But yeah, just because you're behind in unit value or income definitely does not determine whether or not you're going to lose the game. There's just lots of trade-offs that can be made. But if you're behind in all 5 of those categories, then it's almost impossible to come back. And like Sturm still's got winning chances here. Definitely needs to join cap and needs to power. Needs to join cap, needs to power, and needs to stop hitting expensive units so that frog doesn't get power charge. Income advantage is the worst advantage in the game. Well, it's the strongest in the game. Second strongest, I guess. No, the strongest in the game super long term. Because it matters more the longer the game goes on. But it's also the one that has the biggest delay. Like if you suddenly are up 10k over your opponent, it still takes like 4 turns till the front lines actually feel that effect. So if this is why like Sammy uses the super, gets up 10k over the opponent, and then loses the game. And that's because it doesn't matter that you're 10k up over your opponent. You're now suddenly, all of your infantry you sent forward died. So now you're like minus 15 in unit count. And now you're also minus like 20k on the front lines in unit value, even though you're building really expensive, strong units at home. But they don't actually show up in time to make up for the other differences that were traded off to get that income advantage. If you're in like a stally or an even game, then small differences in income advantage can be very impactful when it has lots of time to accumulate and affect the unit value. And then unit count goes down in power the longer the game goes, because there's a unit count limit. So as soon as the person that's ahead reaches 50 in the unit count, suddenly their advantage is just going to shrink even without fighting, because the opponent can build stuff and they can't. A magnet is a collection of units that you build to make a missile power hit instead of hitting your front lines. Now, you can either build it or you can kind of collect them in a corner. And something you purposely do. So like a battleship would be a magnet because it's 28,000 value, and Sturm's super is going to hit that instead of hitting the front line where it would matter a lot. Usually you build, like my classic magnet is 2 medium tanks in a row. Where you build a medium tank, You move it within, so it's still in the AoE of the missile onto a city, and then you build another medium tank the next turn, and that will usually be enough to divert a missile from your front line in the actual fight. Ooh, you go for your own HQ cap, and yours is, of course, very scary. Because, yeah, you can Black Wave. I don't know if this copter... I don't think that copter can clear it. I think you might just win here. Unless your opponent can somehow make it so the missile target's over here, which I don't think they can. They just resign. They don't even try. That's fair. That was a good exchange. The HQ caps. That was well done. Opener definitely needed some work, but I think you outplayed your opponent tactically. You were winning a lot of those engagements. You can see Sturm generated almost 30,000 more funds just from the income, but it doesn't matter. So I would say if you're learning the game, never base skip. Once you've learned the game and you're very comfortable with it, you can do base skips in response to very immediate threats. Or to create a very immediate threat that's going to have a lot of value. I would never base skip to just like build a tank to have a tank. If I'm base skipping for a tank, it's because I need the tank that turn. And if I don't get the tank that turn, it's going to cost me more than just an infantry. So usually base skip if you're forced to base skip. There are some openings that incorporate base skips. I think they're rather weak, but people have had success with them. If we look at... Let's look at the per turn here. Let's not have both of them open though, because it's okay. The opponent's per turn was really high for a long period here. And then it falls down. As yours is like very slowly, incrementally. So they had an income advantage over you for a long time. But I think if we look at deaths. Oh, interesting. It's actually somewhat even. Is that because you were losing so many infantry? Oh, yeah. Okay. So value-wise, they were losing a lot. You must have just been dribbling a lot of infantry for a long time there. So you can... Oh, I can't have both of them at the same time. But you can see that even though they have a high income advantage, it doesn't matter if they're like losing in the other aspects. But if you're like, yeah, if you're just learning the game, I would recommend never base skipping so that you don't fall behind in unit count. Because, of course, unit count is the hardest of the metrics to ever come back in if you and your opponent still like continue to trade evenly. Let's see if I have any really short games. Actually, I can try. Oh, do I not have any other games? I thought I downloaded it. I'll have to look for that one later then. That game's too long. No games. Woohoo. That's true. Sensei can come back in unit count very easily. No, I've already taken the turns. Let's see. In Fog, it's very often that you use the stat screen to help tell if you're winning or losing. If no powers have been used, you can always look at who's got the more charge, and that person's going to have taken more damage. Maybe we'll look at that game. It's kind of short, I think. I have a fan. I guess we can look at this person. Hikaru no Go7. It's cool that Voice of Akasha's back. Of the 14-player game, well, I can briefly look at it. This is me. That's not my alt. That's someone else. Okay. So the teams were supposed to be, I think it's like, this is one team, this is another team, and then this is the third team. But when the creator of the game of this one messed up the teams, so it was an FFA, except these 3 players were on a team. Everyone else was in an FFA. So I was on a team of 3. Everyone else is suddenly in an FFA. 36 turn game. So like these, like us 4 in the center are all against each other. These 2 that spawn right next to each other, they're also fighting. These 2 also fighting. Some people, I think, just resigned immediately. Other people, of course, get absolutely clobbered. Like poor Green here, who's between the 3 players that are actually on a team. This is going to be... Oh, man. I can't go through this whole replay, but we'll quickly try and go through the actions here for a little bit. We offered a draw, but not everyone accepted it until enough people left that the only people that were... enough people like got defeated until the only people that were left were the people that had accepted the draw. Yeah, poor Green Earth. The player down here is Red Halo, one of the other mods of Advanced Wars by Web, who is known for playing Colin in big FFA matches, such as this one. Okay. So you can see I built a recon early on because I'm a jerk and wanted to... start getting some vision so I can know what I'm going against and interrupt any caps. Yeah, I was Hachi. You can see we have an Andy. And you can see the team A. There's A team. Red, me, and Red Halo. The Hawks are going to do a lot of damage. Oh my god, there's so many actions. It looks like purple and brown are fighting. And then very foolishly, green and blue are fighting. They definitely need to not fight. Or at least green needs to not fight blue. You can see, of course, I have a problem. Actually, all three of us on the team have a problem in that we don't have really many properties we can capture without taking to the sea. And I try and be really greedy and try and go for this neutral base. But there's no way that these two players let me get it. I was hoping that they'd be like caught in the conflict down here and I would just sneak the base. It looks like I actually trapped this recon. Yeah. And Red Halo has it rough here because purple and brown are actually fighting and just leaving orange alone, who's really hard to get to because they have to go through the Suez Canal. He's early game Colin against early game Hachi, and that's orange is Hachi, right? Yeah, that's tough. Colin needs some time to really get rolling. You can see mech artillery is pretty much the composition I'm going for because this is nothing but choke points and mountains. And we can see here that green is having to fight on 3 different fronts. Soon a 4th once red engages as well. And even though he's combi, that's kind of untenable. And we can see poor Red Halo having trouble down here. The fact that this person left is a huge breath of fresh air for our good friend over here, and the person left over here. So these two are actually going to have 2 bases themselves. Red does have it so comfy, but also has a really hard time actually expanding. You can see that green is very quickly running out of steam. And Black Hole tries to slam into me, but of course I'm artillery mech. And it's hard to be more defensive than that. Rockets are actually banned on this map. I think they're lab units, and there's no labs. And there's no airports. So it's artilleries, pipe runners, and battleships are your indirects. You can still build missiles if you want. See all the fighting that's happening. As soon as someone gets caught having to fight on 2 fronts, they pretty much just die. Except for me, because it's like right next to my bases and huge choke points. Yeah, there's a lot of naval play. It's true, you actually get canals. There's lots of subs, there's lots of battleships that happen on this map. Battleships in the Mediterranean, very common. All the explosions. Boom! The first Hawk power. Just hits everything. I like how it goes player by player. Or does it not go player by player? Does it go like zone by zone? No, it goes player by player. Now that's what I call value, indeed. Yep, going for that single property. It's hard to get properties. You gotta take what you can get. You can see the our poor Colin friend is struggling over there. There's also no comm towers on this map. And Brown's about to lose his bases, or is getting close to losing his bases. Really shouldn't be quite this far forward with this stuff. Kind of needs to defend over here. And now Blue's moving in on green stuff. And green has now surrendered. I'm like, quickly, get the artillery in there to stop Blue. I'll use my super here. How do I use my super here? I think I just build a bunch of tanks. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 tanks and an infantry. I like the replay planner doesn't know what to do. With Hachi's super, I had negative money. No battleships? Not yet. I don't know if I get battleships. Eventually I will build, I'll use my super and I'll build pipe runners on my cities. Like a real scumbag. A mega tank down here. I could have bought 1 battleship, I think. If I could build the battleship on a city, I would. Yeah, being able to build pipe runners on cities is actually really scary. Like, these cities are really scary with pipe runners on them. They cover a lot. This city's pretty scary with a pipe runner on it. It covers that base. Red's starting to get involved over here. Very desperate, of course, to get properties. As Hachi, you kind of just like use your super to build units, and then you save a lot of money and let those units die, and then have a more expensive build of units. I think Red Halo is almost dead at this point, sadly. And then Orange will own all of this. This person's left. So the team of 3 is now, well, this one's picking on a poor Colin. But now we're pretty much all focused on blue. I think green's gone, and I'm just holding off over here. Well, a lot of this when you're actually playing the game, because it's in fog, I've got no idea what's going on over here. Every now and again, I'll get like hit by a global damage power and be really sad. So when you're actually playing this, you're just like in your own little world. And then usually what happens is you're in your own little world and someone else is winning on the other side of the map, and eventually they show up and just kill you. It's usually a Colin with millions of monies. Boom, it's snowing. You can watch that again. Talk about messing up everyone's fight. So much value. So the problem with this, when you don't have a team, is that all of the damage you do to all of these other players does not matter. You only really care about the players that are attacking you. But this messes up everyone's turn, I'm sure. Do I do diplomacy games often? Not super often. They take forever. But sometimes. Usually if I do an FFA, I get targeted down. Another global damage. Everything gets knocked down to 6. Imagine you're just playing, you end your turn. Next turn, it's snowing. All of your stuff took 4 damage. Actually brutal. A merchant union? He's building battleships? Ah, battleship, mega tank. Makes sense. Usually you don't do merchant union. Wait, no, that's a super. Never mind. You do merchant union. Usually when you do merchant union, you don't get battleships because you can't build battleships on your cities. And one of the big parts of that is being able to build on your cities will up your unit count a lot, which is more important than a single mega tank. Like instead of a single mega tank, building like 5 tanks is better. Usually. In this case, it's double mega tank. So I think instead of double mega tank, I'd probably just build like a tank on every single city. But yeah. And then another power. It's something that definitely drastically changes the fights when there's lots of people with global powers going off. This used to be a full health artillery. It's now at 4. And it's also rough for Hachi because he built like mega tank battleship, and he's gonna have to pay those repair costs. That is one way to interrupt the cap. That's for sure. I may have like moved my inventory off the cities so I don't have to keep repairing them. It's actually like completely disastrous for Colin here because now all of his stuff is 1 health and just kind of gets destroyed by the first strike. So the turn order after the global damage hits matters a lot. You can see it suddenly gets very slow and you're trying to move into armies that are just artillery, and it's kind of choky. But like down here, it's not choky at all. So Orange is just kind of walking over our good friend Red Halo. And up here are lots of free properties because people left. Yeah, Red should definitely be contesting the North, but I don't know if Red knows that these players left. Yep, now we're very slowly moving in on blue. Red Halo is almost dead. This player is getting really strong. It would notify and resigns, but it's well, no, it doesn't tell you. Only if you were watching the game, it would tell you if it resigned. But it won't like notify you that someone resigned. You can look in the game and it'll say someone resigned. Be like, that player is gone. But it's all in Fog of War, so you don't know what's going on with all that. Looks like Brown actually managed to make a comeback against Purple down here in a big way. I think it's because he got the second Hawk power, maybe? I'll do it. So many infantry up there. Yeah, their name will be lined out. Recons? Recons, yeah. You can see how many infantry get built. The players, these players are pretty poor, so lots of infantry get built. I think this is going to be the turn I get a pipe runner. And then once I get the pipe runner, I can push in on our purple friend here. Or not purple, but black. You got to super off Olaf's damage. Ah, that'll do it, yeah. The brave infantry. Yeah. Is it just being ignored? Maybe they have an alliance. They might have an alliance. But you can see blue's getting overrun. But before he gets overrun, he gets to do another super. So much damage. I'm not sure who this person is over here, but they have a lot of money. Oh, this is a Colin player up here. Oh my gosh. Well, they have a nice, comfy 157,000. Honestly, they should have more than that. They should be attacking to get and losing stuff to get more charge. They've got 29 cities. Hey, pipe runner, battleship. There you go. That's what you wanted to see. Should build a battleship over here. This one's actually penned in by Shoals. It's more of a defensive battleship. The bonus I saw to building the battleship here is that I saw that this player's Hachi, and I don't want a submarine to come over and kill my battleship. Submarines can't hit me here. So now, with triple pipe runner, battleship, I own this area. Oh, ha ha ha. And you'll see it's kind of impossible to fight against this kind of indirect strength that just appears in a single turn. Oh. Oh, it crashed. Well, I think I'll call the stream there. The game was too much for the replay player. Do pipe runners have enough vision? They might. I might have just had stuff in the way. I think I'll call the stream there though. It couldn't handle it. It was too big of a replay. Yeah. I don't know. I think Red Halo has a really big FFA fog game that he's going to send me when it finishes, that I will attempt to do a deep analysis of, and it will be like hundreds of units fighting each other in big blobs. How'd the game end? I take out, or my team takes out blue. Red Halo loses, then I beat up on Hawk, and then he leaves, and then everyone that's left had accepted the draw, and the game ends in the draw. And that's how the game ends. Yeah, that'll be quite the stream. I'll let you know.